Welcome to our daily Forex market analysis, and this is for trading on February the 18th, 2020. Just a quick disclaimer here before we get started. This is for educational purposes only. Trading is a risky business, so please be careful with your money. As usual, we'll get started with our calendar here. In terms of the data here, we just had the monetary policy meeting minutes for Australia here. And RBA, Reserve Bank of Australia, has actually looked at some cases where they may cut rates or how things will look if they were to cut rates. And as a result of that, we have seen Australian dollar drop because anytime central banks talk about cutting rates, that is negative for the currency. So Australian dollar has gone down. Also, we are seeing a kind of a renewed coronavirus focus again. So we did see that Apple had actually said that they may not be able to meet their revenue or forecasted revenue because of the production delays in regards to China. And we have seen a big jump in the coronavirus cases in China, as well as the deaths that are related to coronavirus. So even though the number of cases that are coming out every day has not grown that much, but overall there was a jump because the way the cases are being tested and the number of deaths have increased, and there's still yet no cure. So as a result of that, we have also seen that China has now asked their residents here in Hubei province here to not leave their houses. They're really basically kind of coming down hard in terms of trying to contain the virus. And this is having a negative impact on the economy because a lot of stuff is shut down. A lot of businesses are shut down as a result of that because people are being asked not to leave their houses. They're being forced into quarantine and they're getting locked into their houses and stuff like that. So now it may start impacting the economy. We did see that the equity markets were basically ignoring the whole issue, but now with Apple announcing that it may have an impact on their numbers, as well as now Reserve Bank of Australia talking about it, Fed saying that this could have an impact on overall the market. So now we are basically seeing more of an impact. So just keep an eye on that. If we see more focus on the coronavirus issue, then that will be negative for equity markets, but it will be positive for yen, Swiss franc, gold, and silver. All right, so in terms of the news that's coming up here on Tuesday, we have German ZEW economic sentiment numbers for the Eurozone coming up in the morning. And we are expecting a drop from the previous number. Now, if the numbers come in below this expected number, that will be bad for the euro, and we could see euro drop as a result of that. We do have employment numbers coming out for UK here as well. And with this one, we need to look at both the employment numbers as well as the average earnings index number. So if either one of these numbers are below expectations, that will be negative for British pound, but the numbers coming out of UK have been positive overall. So if we do see positive numbers coming out of UK, that will push the British pound up further. And then in the US session, we do have some US numbers coming up. And then in the Asian session, though, we have a wage price index, which is the same as average index earnings index here for Australia here. And if we see a drop in that, that will be negative for Australian dollar because Australia is struggling with a few different things. There were the fires, and now there is the China issue. So all of those things have a negative impact on Australian economy. So if the wage price index numbers drop as well, now we are likely to see a negative impact from that, and we will see Australian dollar drop as a result. All right, so let's move on to our charts here. We'll start off with Euro US dollar here. So in terms of the Euro dollar, we have seen that prices into levels that we haven't seen for some time here. And looking back at these numbers, we are looking at 1.0720 as the next level. So bias here is bearish, but keep in mind that price has been dropping for so long now. So bias today is still bearish. However, if price cannot hold below 1.0800, we could see a pullback here. And with ECB coming up, we could see price basically go up before it drops further. So watch out for pullbacks in Europe, but overall bias is bearish, but like I said, with caution. Next target here to the downside that we would look at would be 1.0780, and then below that we're looking at 1.0720. So bearish bias, but with caution. Pound dollar here, this one price went into resistance here at 1.3065, and it has held below that level. So today we have a bearish candle close, which means we could see a further drop here in the pound dollar. So bias is bearish. The next target here is 1.2950, and then we're looking at 1.2880. Now, having said that, though, overall price has been pushed up for British pound because of the positive stuff that we heard in regards to the finance minister resigning, and then there's a new person in place who is likely to basically have more of an expansionary fiscal policy, which means more spending, which is seen as a positive thing for the economy. So that's why we saw British pound get pushed up. So with this one, if price is not able to hold below 1.300 level, it could still go back up. So just be mindful of that, because it is into support right here. So if it doesn't hold below 1.30, this can still go up higher. So right now bias is bearish, but with caution here for pound dollar as well. Aussie dollar here, we do have a nice pin bar here. Price is already moving lower, so bias is bearish here based on the two back-to-back pin bars here. Target here is 0.6660. That's the first target, and then we are looking at 0.6660 is the first, 0.6600 is the second target for Aussie dollar. Bias is bearish. New Zealand dollar here, this one as well, price is holding below the support resistance level that we have been looking at for the last few days here, still holding below that, so bearish bias here. Target is 0.6380, and then second target is 0.6320, so bearish bias for New Zealand dollar as well. Dollar CAD here. Now with this one, we do have a price into support here. And as we can see, this is where price has reacted several times. So with this one here, bias is neutral. What I would look at is if price holds above this 1.3225, then we could see price go up even higher here. So at this point, neutral bias, and first target here would be 1.3270, so neutral bias for dollar CAD. Let's take a look at commodities here. We'll start off with silver, and as we can see, prices into resistance here. It has been trading in this range for a number of days now. And with the virus issues coming back to forefront, this is looking bullish again, but it's into resistance. So if it doesn't go through 1780, this one could go back down. So watch out for that. But it is looking bullish at the moment. Target is 18.15, but just be cautious, because if it holds below 17.90, it can come back down. So bullish bias, but with caution. Gold here, gold is bullish here. We do see prices slowly been trying to make its way higher. So bullish bias here, 1594 is the first target. And then above that, we've got 1610 as the second target. So bias is bullish for gold. Oil. Oil is still trading in this range. It has gone in, it went into resistance, but it's holding below that resistance now. So as long as it holds below 52.50, we're looking for price to come back down towards the middle of the range and then towards the low of the range here. So this is where it's been trading for a number of days now. Target here is 50.80 and then 49.50. So bias is bearish for gold. Copper. Copper also holding below our support resistance level. Here, as we can see, it hasn't been able to break through the resistance yet. And as long as it stays below 2.58, I will look for a move lower here. And the next target here is 2.54. So as long as it holds below 2.58, target is 2.54. And if it does go through, then we have a lot of room to the upside here. In that case, the next target will be 2.61. So right now, bias is neutral for copper. Bitcoin here. Bitcoin dropped over the weekend. Right now, it is into the support resistance level. This is where price has reacted several times. Bias is neutral here for Bitcoin for the day. And with this one, as long as it holds above 94.50, I will look for a move back up so we could see price go higher. So neutral bias for now. If it holds above 94.50, we are looking towards 99.50 as the second target. Now, should it go drop through that level, we could see it go into 90.50. So for now, though, next target is 99.50 for Bitcoin. All right, S&P 500. So with the virus issues coming into forefront again, we have seen a bit of a drop here in S&P 500. I will look for a move towards 33.50 as the first target. And if it goes through that level, we're looking at 33.20. So bias is bearish here for S&P 500. Nasdaq here, same thing. We see that price has been trading in this range here. It hasn't really, it's been trying to go higher, but it hasn't quite made it through that level here. So I will look for a drop here. 94.90 is the first target, and if it goes through that level, we're looking at 93.50. So bearish bias here for Nasdaq as well. And then Dow Jones here, same thing. We see that this one is actually, price has been holding below this level for a number of days now. So bias is bearish here. And first target is 29,200. And then below that, we're looking at 29,000 as the second target, sorry, 29,200 as the first target, 28,900 as the second target. DAX here, this one is holding up. It's been trying to make its way higher. It is into resistance. So with this one, bias is neutral, but if it goes through 13,800, this one could go higher into 14,000. So at this point, neutral bias. But if it stays below 13,800, I will look for a move back towards 13,600. So bias is neutral for DAX. Footsie here. This one has dropped, so bias is bearish here. 73.85 is the first target, and if it goes below that, we are looking at 73.40. So bias is bearish for Footsie. And then last but not least, we have Nikkei here. Nikkei is looking bearish here. It's finally trying to go through the support level that it's kind of held above for a while now. So bearish bias here. And next target here is 22,920 and then 22,630. So bearish bias here for Nikkei as well. So that's it for today. Have a wonderful trading day, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye for now.